Okay, let's do a website review of the southernsocialtexas.com. We're going to look at just the homepage, and we're going to look at it through the lens of StoryBrand and messaging, what you're actually saying to your website visitors. I might call out some design things and some design changes, but I'm really focusing on what it is your website's saying. Now, this is the very first time I'm looking at your website, so I'm kind of viewing it as I'm sharing with you. I'll be drawing arrows and crossing things out and just talking, but this is really to kind of guide your approach to the homepage. We believe the homepage is the sales letter of your website. Everything should be determined on the homepage: who you are, what you do, and how to purchase from you, right? So let's go ahead and dive right in. First thing I will want to say is there's a lot of white space on the top, which is totally fine. But since readers usually read left to right, top to bottom, I would suggest moving your logo over to the left and taking the menu and moving it over to the right. Let's go ahead and swap those two. I'm not necessarily drawn to click the menu button. Just first of all, the design is really weird. Looks like me new, right? I know it means menu, but I would hesitate to do that because I don't even know why yet. I don't know where I'm at. I know I typed the website address, but it doesn't tell me anything yet, so I'm not really compelled to click that. But if I saw the Southern Social first, okay, good. I'm in the spot I'm supposed to be, the DFW Wedding Magazine, right? I might then go and click that menu. Now, the menu is great, that style of menu, which is it's called a hamburger menu or a fly out menu, right? So if you click it, it'll actually just kind of fly out on you, give you just your links. I think those are fantastic because what you're doing is you're saying, hey, everything on this homepage is all that you need. If you want to learn more, go ahead and click that. Otherwise, don't even worry about it. So that's why it's another good thing to kind of bump that over to the right side, because you know what? It's not as important as the homepage. We want to make sure people don't necessarily go there first, okay? Now, the logo is perfect. It tells me who you are and what you do, really just in that logo. So I say great job on that. So if you only had the logo in the top left corner and nothing else but that menu option a little bit smaller on the right-hand side, golden. I think you did great there. You can add another link or two, at the very top, like, about us or the magazine or a blog or something like that. You can certainly do that. Just make sure that it's not something that's taking a lot of focus away from your call to action. So let me show you real quick. I'm actually going to kind of white out your this section here, so I'll draw on top of it to show you kind of what I mean by that. So the first thing I would say is, let's have your logo over here, right? And maybe you can make it smaller. It's totally fine. And then you want to maybe add a couple of links, so have a link here and have a link here. Please forgive this is not a design thing, but have, a couple of links there. Then what you really need to have is your main call to action right next to it. That's really kind of all you need on there. I'm sorry, this looks horrible, but you see what I'm saying. Logo on the left, main call to action all the way on the right, and then two links. Those links can click into subsequent pages, totally fine, like blog or magazine or something like that. But we want to make sure those are not as important as this main call to action. We want that main call to action to be prominent, okay? So let's just go ahead and look a little below it. So the image is beautiful, right? You got the engaged couple or newly married couple just smiling. So you're right on track with a smiling image. So you can keep that. What I feel like we need to be a little bit more strong in is this content right here, DFW Weddings. I don't know what that is. I thought you were the Southern Social, but this says DFW Weddings. So now I'm a little confused what that means. This is where you want to have some of your philosophical statements or, statements of what life looks like after they purchase your magazine. Really make sure it's saying what you do. So I'm going to go over to Quirk Advertising website so you can see kind of what we mean by that. So on the websites, the thing you see here is create clarity for your small business so you can stop wasting, and then it changes energy, money, hair, that kind of thing. And you see the hamburger menu on the top right with the call to action. You see the call to action underneath it. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. Now you can go one or two ways. You can say, you know, a philosophical statement, you know, have the wedding you've dreamed of, and then below it in small text, say, we're a magazine that helps resource you as you're preparing for your wedding. I mean, that simple, right? It's very simple, it's very clear, and you want to have those two items of text kind of overlay on top of the image, right? So that would be the main title, and then you have your subtitle right below it. Have that overlay on top of the image, again, with some transparency so you can see the beautiful image behind it. But let's say something. That's a lot of real estate there. You're saying something in a picture, but I'm not sure what to do yet. Okay, so say something there, and then go ahead and put your calls to action, you know, below it. Again, we want to make sure that that call to action is the same call to action that I showed you earlier at the very top. It needs to be the same one. It's your direct call to action, which for you, it's purchase the magazine, right? Or soon to be subscribe. Okay, you could also add another call to action right next to it. It's called a transitional call to action. That could be read the blog. That could be download a PDF, right? That could be something transitional. You can include that. That is completely optional. You don't necessarily need to have that there. All right, so let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit further. Submit, purchase, browse, purchase your tickets. Okay. So right now you're telling me to do 4 things. Now, I know I don't have to do all of them, but I'm not sure what to do. Okay, so if the goal of the website is to purchase the magazine, then this is the only main call to action we should see anywhere on the site. Okay, so we want to remove submit, browse, purchase your tickets, move them somewhere else. Okay, now purchase your tickets, that looks like an event, a specific event, right? Now that is totally fine to have somewhere on the page. I suggest doing something like a pop down, and I don't know if you've ever heard of those before, but it actually will take your website. Squarespace does it. It's like an announcement bar. It pops down right on the top, and it gives you like a place where you can type in text with a button. You can do that, or you can utilize the section here with the image. So this image of the couple hugging, you know, make it like a slideshow where it goes to the second one and it promotes the event. But the event is still secondary to the entire purpose of this homepage. Purpose of the homepage is a sales letter for that magazine. Okay, so what I would do in this section is I would actually remove all of this section here. This section, I would make it to be more of a value proposition, right? So let's get rid of this and add some value propositions, why it's important that they purchase that magazine, right? So earlier above that, you said who you are, what you do, how to purchase your magazine. Well, this still asked the question, why? So what are some value add that you give these engaged couples, right? What are you giving them when they purchase your magazine? So say that, and say that in terms of like imagery and text underneath it. So you have it right here. See what this image is, that's great. But maybe the text would be different. You know, you might say something like, all resources at your fingertips, you know, saves time, and then you're happier or something, right? What are the value propositions you're adding right here underneath it? And we'll scroll a little bit further. So this is great. Okay, definitely want to have Instagram on your website because it's beautiful images, okay? And this kind of sparks like inspiration, gets people kind of jazzed about what you are gonna have in your magazine. So that's great. But it looks like that's the end of your website. There's a few things we wanna make sure we do. So remember, we had who you are, what you do, and how to contact you or how to purchase, right? I mean, literally right here with this image up. We added a value proposition right below it. But then I would add a few more sections. I'm gonna give you some examples. logos of different vendors that you partner with. Let's give them a plan. Like, what do you want them to do? The first thing, and we talked about this during our coaching session, purchase the magazine, and whatever 2 and 3 was, if it's 2, it's, read the blog, and 3, partner with a vendor, or whatever it is you want to do. Those 3, whatever we land on your final brand script, that's what we want to put there. If you want to put some additional things you offer, that's totally fine. But you want to do that. And then at the very bottom, you want to have some reviews. So we talked about that too. Have some reviews on here. And then we call it the junk drawer, which you have already right here. So that's totally fine. You did great all down here. But that's what I would do on the homepage. I mean, really what you're doing is you're kind of walking them through a process. The top section is who you are, what you do, how to purchase. Right below it, the section right below it, have a value proposition. Below it, you can even kind of rearrange it and put your testimonies, what people are saying. Then below that, give them a plan, 1, 2, and 3. Then below that, have some more imagery, that maybe have your Instagram feed pull in so they can be inspired by the images. And then the junk drawer, right? That's what I would do for the homepage of your website. That concludes our homepage review of your website. I'm super excited to see the brand new version of it. If there's any questions or you need anything else, let us know. Thank you so much.